Hi guys, I'm back, and today's video is going to be the 7 lessons that I learned about Think and Grow Rich, that classic book that inspired millions and millions of people, written by Napoleon Hill. So let's really get into it. The first thing that I learned is desire is the starting point. Wealth begins with essentially a burning desire, something that you really, really need. And that's why we see many successful people actually came from absolutely nothing. They came from really impoverished backgrounds, and they built an amazing amount of wealth. So it comes from that burning desire. I remember reading Arnold Schwarzenegger's book, and he's a multimillionaire in his own right. And he spoke about that burning desire after post World War II. There was alcoholism, there was depression in Austria, and he really wanted to get away and have a better life. And that's how he became a bodybuilding champion, the governor, and made millions and millions of pounds at the movies. So that's a great lesson there. It needs to become with a burning desire to actually create wealth. And sometimes, in terms of how you can do that, is perhaps writing down why you desire money and actually cultivating and actually thinking of that. Second thing is you have to have faith in your vision. Believe that you can essentially achieve it. If you don't believe it and you're wishy-washy, you're never going to essentially achieve it. You have to have tremendous faith that no matter what happens, no matter what you go through, that it will be essentially achieved. The third thing is auto-suggestion changes your mind. So continuously feed yourself with positive thoughts about wealth. So what I've recently done as well that has helped is when I go to sleep, I listen to positive affirmations. That kind of fetus state of when you're in and out of unconsciousness and consciousness is a great way to kind of provide auto suggestion and helping you to actually achieve your goals. Just going into the mirror, saying with energy and belief affirmations helps a lot. Fourth thing is specialized knowledge normally creates power. So normally what tends to happen is if you compare, say, for example, let's say a GP and a surgeon. A surgeon commands more power than a GP because that surgeon is specialized in doing something, whereas a GP is a general practitioner. They're all good money, but there's a big difference between those things. So specialize in something that you know. So, for example, I work in property. We provide property development finance for specific new builds. That's quite focused. That's not giving development finance on loads of things, but then you become a specialist in that and you command greater knowledge. The next thing is imagination builds riches. You have to create imagination to spot opportunities and actually then make concrete steps towards that. So everyone has imagination. Sometimes it's good to just put everything away, go in a room, and just really just imagine yourself achieving your goals. Imagine the person that you are. Imagine where you'd be. Imagine what you've achieved. Imagine who you're going to be with. Really bring those feelings into it, and only through imagination can things be achieved. There was a famous comedian, Jim Carrey, and he was quite famous for blocking out time for writing down jokes. For instance, he imagined himself having a £10 million check, and then I do believe a couple of years later he was awarded that £10 million check. So imagination is so key and so impactful for actually achieving your goals. Next thing is you have to have a tremendous amount of persistence. You have to go through really tough times. Now, I don't necessarily agree with everything that President Trump does, but one thing we can all agree on is the amount of persistence the guy has. He doesn't give up. He just keeps on going. He was essentially going to be put into prison for something he didn't do, and he kept on going. So that persistence is so key. Everyone's going to face setbacks. Your suppliers might go bankrupt. You might lose your job. Your wife might leave you, but it's seeing the positive aspects first before the negative, that will really help you. And the last thing, the seventh thing, is having that mastermind group. So he actually spoke about surrounding yourself with people who are better than you. So imagine if you had the best business people or the best people in your field sitting down, on a weekly basis discussing how you can kind of improve yourself or improve your business or improve your job, whatever you're looking to essentially improve and what you define as success. So it's really about what, in a modern kind of context, is actually networking, meeting people, saying hello, connecting, having conversations, having coffees with people, discussing what they need, seeing if you can actually help. This is what it's all about. So these are, I would say, the 7 kind of principles of of what I learned from Think and Grow Rich. And just capping up, it's desire is the starting point, faith in your vision, auto-suggestion, specialized knowledge, imagination builds riches, decision and persistence, the mastermind principle. And those are the 7 things that really, really help. Hope that makes sense.